So, hello, somebody asked me about some more examples of converting between exponential equations and logarithmic equations. And the whole idea is that anytime you have an exponential equation, you automatically also have a logarithm. You just need to switch around the pieces. And the crucial thing to keep in mind really is that throughout all of these examples, the base stays on bottom. Okay, so that is the big thing. Once you identify what number the base is, you just flip the other two numbers around and change it from either being an exponent to a logarithm. The rest of it is the same. So here's an example. If I write down that 2 to the third equals 8, that is the same as writing down log base 2 of 8 is equal to 3. And I really encourage you, when you see a logarithm, to say in your head, when you read it, say the word base. When I read this on the right side, I read this as log base 2 of 8. Helps me remember that the 2 is staying on the bottom. We had 2 raised to the 3. Now we have 2 below the 8. And the word log just means you switched it around. So if I had 5 to the negative 2, is 1/25th. I can write log base 5 of 1/25th is negative 2. Okay, the 5 was the base, the 5 stayed on the bottom. The maybe a couple trickier examples are where the base is implied. So if you see, for example, just the word log by itself, it implies a base of 10. So if you saw, for example, log of 100 equals 2, the base is 10, even though it's not written down. The word log, when there's no base written down, just means it implies there's a base of 10. So I can write 10 to the 2 equals 100. The base stayed on the bottom. The base was 10. I could even put a 10 right there. Kind of like you can write 1x if you want, but if x is by itself, it just implies there's a 1 in front of it. Log by itself implies a 10 underneath it. Or if I had natural log of e equals 1.7, I can't say that because natural log of e does not equal 1.7. Natural log of e would equal 1. Then I can write the base for natural log is e. So I have e to the 1 is equal to e. Okay. So this is helpful when you don't know some of the pieces of the problem. So for example, if you have 5 raised to the x is equal to 20, you can keep the 5 on the bottom and write it as a logarithm. Log base 5 of 20 is equal to x. Similarly, if you had log base 7 of x is equal to 3, you can keep the 7 on the bottom and get 7 to the third is equal to x. If you had 10 to the x equals 123, you can switch that to log of 123 equals x. And if you had the natural log of x is equal to 7, you can switch that to e to the 7 is equal to x. So every exponential equation is a logarithmic equation, and every logarithmic equation is an exponential equation. When we write down the word log, we're just communicating that we switched around who is on top of the base. It used to be an exponential base raised to the power, and in logarithm, it's the opposite of that. So a lot of people will summarize everything I just said with some equation that looks like this. A to the x equals b, and they'll say that this is equivalent to log, come on colors, log base a of b equals x. those two pieces flip-flopped. So that's it. So let me know if you got more questions. Happy to help out.